Hello, friends and neighbors. Hi. Whew. I'm tired, y'all. My child is getting over whatever virus is going around, so sorry for being just a couple minutes late. Just running ragged around here. But living high off of Porch Fest on Saturday. It was just absolutely incredible. I hope you guys got to come out. Just hanging out with our neighbors in their yards and listening to music. It was just amazing. And I can't wait for next year. I've already had lots of people reach out and say, oh my gosh, I would love to help plan this next year and be involved, which is amazing because, like I said, I'm not an event planner, but we made it happen, and our musicians showed up and they got paid, and our small businesses sponsored them, and it was just community coming together, and it was an awesome day. So if you guys didn't make it this year, make sure you keep out an eye for next year. It's going to be awesome. Our agenda tomorrow is pretty chill. We do have a couple of presentations in our work session meeting that we won't have in our regular meeting as usual, but particularly I'm excited about, we're going to have a presentation on some CARTA updates from Charles Frazier, who's the CARTA CEO. We currently only have a contract and pay for CARTA caravan services. So just kind of getting some updates on those stats and what that service looks like in our community, and hopefully having discussion about what some other options might be for us in the future to add additional public transit options to Red Bank. I would love to see that come back again to our community, since we haven't had access to general public transit since 1996. So that's almost 30 years ago. That's a really long time. Definitely things have changed, needs have changed, but looking forward to hearing from Charles tomorrow and just continuing to have those conversations. We'll also be getting a briefing from our fire department on kind of where they are after this first quarter of the fiscal year, just like we've already heard from our public works department and our police department. So they'll be going over that stuff, that cool stuff, all the calls they've gotten so far. And then we'll also be getting a monthly financial update from our CFO, Miss Pickle. Again, just to see where we are. I can tell you I had a meeting with her last week, and we just got our first property tax payment last week, so we won't actually see those revenues reflected in the monthly financial update until December, because that will be reported on for November. So we're still going to be kind of in that valley where we're not really seeing a lot of property tax revenue come in, but that's going to be changing over the next few months. Item 4, we are going to be talking about accepting a matching grant for up to $4,000 through public entity partners. This is our liability insurance company, and they have a driver grant that they allow us to access that helps offset costs for GPS monitoring on our vehicles to make sure that everybody's being safe. And it also helps us reduce our insurance costs, so it's a win-win. Item 5 is for us to authorize acceptance of funds from the Bulletproof Vest Partnership Grant from the United States Department of Justice. That is something that happens every 2 years or so. It's a reimbursing grant up to $10,710. So we'll hear more from Chief tomorrow about exactly how many vests that covers over that length of time, but definitely having that grant opportunity offsets those costs for those much needed pieces of equipment for our officers. Item 6, we're just going to be renewing our agreement with our website and agenda management software organization, and so that's $17,726. They built in about a 5% increase. That happens about every year for those kinds of contracts, which, when people are saying you don't need to raise taxes ever for decades, but contract prices go up every year, labor costs go up every year, material costs go up every year. There's inflation everywhere. So, those are things that we are just having to face on a regular basis. And yeah, anyway, that was just my little plug about taxes and contract costs that we have no control over, which is like my other little plug. This is just me, Stefanie, talking here, but for why we should never, ever be okay. We should never be behind or supporting privatizing utilities. We should just never, ever do that. Everywhere it's been done, it's failing the people that it's supposed to be serving. Yeah, TVA is amazing and incredible, the work that they do. And these greedy folks are trying to come after them and get them privatized. And that would be very bad for all of us guys if TVA were to become a privatized utility. You get no say-so whatsoever, and your rates or anything like that. So, and they don't care. They don't care because their bottom line is profit. It's not service, it's profit. So that's the problem when we privatize utilities. Just gonna get off my soapbox now, but now you know. And then our final item of business, we're gonna have a public hearing for a rezoning request for 2633 Simpson Avenue. They're requesting to rezone from R1 residential to RTZ residential, which is residential townhome / zero lot line. It's my understanding, I believe it's 2 lots, and if I'm understanding correctly, they want to dissolve the lot line and then subdivide it into 3 lots to build 3 new single-family structures. So we're going to be having the public hearing tomorrow, but we're not actually going to be voting on it yet because the ordinance was not ready. It hadn't been fully vetted with our planning department and with our city attorney. So we will have our first reading on that rezoning request on December 2nd, and then we'll have our second and final reading on, what's 2 weeks after that? The 16th, December 16th. So if you do want to give comments on that, you can do that tomorrow at the public hearing. If you are not able to make it to the public hearing, you have 2 votes in December that you'll be able to come and ask questions and give comments, express concerns, etc. And that's it. Like I said, pretty light agenda, pretty chill. And as always, if you guys have any other questions, you know how to find me. And then if you ever want to give comments on items that aren't on the agenda, you always have the opportunity to do that at the end of our regular meeting, at the 6 o'clock meeting. So, all right. I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening, and I will see you tomorrow at 5 p.m.